Nouriel, I know that the AIM Summit today, you're going to talk crypto. Jamie Dimon obviously says overnight that it's worthless. What I'd like to know from you, Nouriel, I know you're not hot on Bitcoin traditionally. At any margin, do you agree that Bitcoin can be a hedge against inflation rather than gold? Good morning.
No, I don't agree on that because the price of Bitcoin has gone up by, I don't know how many 100 percentage points this year alone, while inflation expectations have gone higher, but only marginally. So I don't explain the rise in Bitcoin prices as driven by fear of high inflation. I worry about inflation, but the number of inflation not such as justify that rise in Bitcoin prices. And I think that the term cryptocurrency is a bit of a misnomer because Bitcoin or other unquote cryptocurrencies are not a unit of account. They're not a scalable means of payment. They're not a stable store of value over goods or over wealth. They're not even a single numeraire. So calling them currency is a misnomer. Some people say they're an asset, but typically an asset gives you some source of income and cash flow. Stocks give you dividend, bonds give you a coupon, loans give you some interest, real estate gives you rent, or they have some use or utility like commodities or like real estate and housing, or like in the case of gold, they have also some other use or utility like in industry, gold, or as jewelry. And it's been historically for 4,000 years a stable store of value against not just inflation, but also deflation, financial crisis, political and geopolitical risk. So I don't have a fundamental model to price something that doesn't have any income, doesn't have any use, doesn't have a utility, is not scalable. So I don't know how to price it, frankly. I think it's just a self-fulfilling demand that leads to a movement in prices, but doesn't have, in my view, a fundamental intrinsic value.
Well, at $1,757 gold does, how much higher can gold go in the Roubini inflationist narrative?
Well, if I'm right that over the next few years, we're going to go from inflation close to 2% to something closer to 4 or 5%, and it's a medium-term kind of forecast, it's not just for the next 6 months, then I think there is a significant upside for gold prices because traditionally under condition of relatively higher inflation, gold prices are one of the many hedges, not the only one. As I said, tapes, short duration bonds, other commodities, but it's one of the assets that can protect you against rising inflation. It's a good store of value when inflation is higher.
Nouriel, we never even got to China, so let's just finish off in America. There's no point in getting on the plane now. Given the scenario that we spent talking about inflation, bond markets, etc., will the Fed taper in November? Will they go the full Monty, Nouriel? Will they get the taper done by the middle of next year and hike rates next year? What do you reckon, Nouriel?
Well, I think they may start tapering in November, but I think that the test for the Fed is going to be that if they start tapering and you have a shock like in the fourth quarter of 18, when you have bond yields going higher, credit spreads going higher, the stock market correcting sharply, and the economy is slowing down very sharply, I don't think they'll be able to be tough on inflation. They're going to wimp out, and they're going to dodge it, and they're going to postpone any finishing of tapering or raising rates. So they're talking the right way, but in a situation where growth is slowing down and you could have a tightening of financial condition, I don't think that the Fed is going to be hawkish. I think they're going to end up being dovish.